All right. Well, this is the first video in the sequence of videos that I'll be making over the course of the semester. Some will be replays from the spring, but there'll be a lot of new material, and I hope the production qualities are up to your standards. This is my friend SM58. I'm hoping that that will give us better audio than the microphone on the webcam. A lot of what we'll be looking at is going to be in Studio B back there. But these first few are just me talking, so I thought I'd do it the easy way. I'm Lewis Gilbert. I am your instructor, lecturer. My title is senior lecturer. I'll do the next video will be a little bit more about me. Briefly, I'm a PhD guy. I haven't been a professor most of my life. Well, I've never been a professor. But I'll talk about that more in another video. Today, right now in this video, I want to introduce the course that we'll be working our way through. It's the official, officially, it's Agronomy 375, Environmental Studies 402. It's 3 credits. Environmental sciences studies, it's listed as a special topics. That's a bureaucratic thing you needn't worry about. I have been asked what the special topic is this semester, and unsurprisingly will be, the special topic is systems thinking, but in this course, what I focus on varies, and it should be no surprise to anyone that we'll spend a fair amount of time talking about COVID-19 and associated things, using that as our subject matter for learning the grammar and tools of systems thinking. There is a Canvas homepage, which has the syllabus as it exists right now. I usually refer to that in my links as the course. I'm attempting to, well, there should be some sort of a narrative arc. It certainly had one in the fall. Things are different now. I did not, well, I didn't plan to do this online. So a lot of things have changed in how I think about the course. But as I noted, we'll be spending a lot more time on COVID-19 than I did in the spring, although we did talk a fair amount in the spring as it became clearer that it was an issue. We'll start with some basic introductory material. I referred a moment ago to grammar and tools. A lot of what we're going to be developing is facility, fluency, with a set of symbolic and I call it grammar that represent systems. One of the things about systems is we spend a lot of time looking at causal relationships, and less time than in many of your courses about the details of how things work. More black boxes in systems thinking than in a lot of studies topics that you've taken in other classes. There'll be more reading this semester than last semester. And one of the critiques I got last semester was that the readings didn't always connect with the lectures. That may still be the case. I will strive to make the connections, and certainly we can talk about the connections as they may be more opaque to you than they are to me. Drawing. It says in my notes here I should talk about drawing. A lot of what we'll be doing is drawing systems diagrams. I encourage you to work with a pencil, pen, marker, and paper using your hand rather than on the computer using, I guess you use your hand. It's just kind of a different, there's one mediation between your hand and what happens, at least one. In part because I don't want you to have to learn to use some clumsy drawing program. I'm spending a lot of time on technology right now. and much more time on technology than I am on content, which is a really unfortunate thing. That said, I think I've just about got the technology licked. Um, let's see. Readings book list. I'll try to keep a list somewhere of, well, there'll be the readings obviously, but last semester I created a list of other books. I don't know whether anybody ever looked at it. I may do that again this semester. Oh yes, one other thing in terms of logistics. Oh, I see that further down my outline here, so I'll come back to that. Grading. Um, you'll notice you should really take a look at there's a lot of this stuff is on the homepage in Canvas, and I'll talk a bit more about technology later. At this point, I guess I should really plug. I will send at the time of this recording, or have sent at the time you may be seeing it, a survey that gives me information about a little bit about who you are, and a little bit about technology. It's very important that to me that I know, well, if you have technological challenges, it's important to me to know about them so we can address them one way or another. Right. So fill out the survey. That's that. There's an announcement that you can find it through, which at the time of the recording hasn't been created. By the time you see it, probably will be. Grading. When I first started teaching this course, started thinking about teaching this course about a year ago. And I didn't teach it in the fall of 2019. I taught it in the spring of 2020. I noticed that a lot of the examples that I was looking at in terms of grading were punitive. That is, you'd start out with 100 points, and if you failed to do something or chose not to do something, then you were penalized points. I don't particularly like that approach to grading. It seems that like the incentives are wrong. So in my course, there's nothing required. You don't have to do any of it, but you also start with 0 points, and you can you gain points by doing things. There will be two. What I've now called major works. That is a midterm and a final project. Details to be developed as the semester goes along. There'll be 10 roughly weekly homework assignments. Those are important, you might guess. And then there's going to be participation points. There's 10 of those that I award subjectively at the end of the semester based on how you did, how much you were present during the semester. Let's see, participation assignments. Yeah, I kind of covered all that. But gives me a good segue. It's like, well, how the hell am I going to participate if we're sitting online and we're not having class? But I have decided to use the class time for smaller discussions. One of the things that I will miss tremendously is standing up in front of a live audience. The late night commentators prattle on about how it's weird to do it without an audience. Well, it is. It is very weird to do it without an audience. So when I have an audience, I you can get to know you a little bit. Who sits where, who thinks about what, and all that kind of thing. Well, blah blah blah. So, what I've decided to do is break the class time. We have 2 hours and 30 minutes a week, so 75-minute sections each week. There are 28 plus or minus 2. Actually, it's probably 29 plus or minus 2. But anyway, um, uh, of you. If I break the 2 hour and 15-minute sections in half, I have 4 roughly 30-minute sections. And so each week you will be called upon to attend one of those half-hour sessions. And those will be conducted using Blackboard Collaborate Ultra, whatever. There's a link on the Canvas page. And I will send around assignments for which of those you should attend. I know that there are, and this is one of the reasons I need to know about technology. Does that work for you? It's very important that you be safe. Very important that you be safe. If I'll turn the gain down a little bit. So if one of the questions on the survey is, do you have a safe place where the technology works to do this kind of thing? And if the answer is no, it's very important that I learn that quickly so that we can make accommodations. And mind you, the burden, certainly I need your help, but the burden is upon me to figure it out, if that's true. Oh gosh, that was this. You'll find that I sometimes wander off, as I just did. So if there are considerations about which of those sessions works in terms of you being safe or having technology, please let me know as soon as possible. I know that some of you have some considerations that way, and I will work to accommodate those. In general, I'm going to assign you by randomly to one of those 4 time slots. So that would be starting at 9:30 until about 10:05 on Tuesday or Thursday, and then starting at 10:10 until 10:45 on Tuesday or Thursday. So let me know about that. I suppose I might add that to the survey. Meet on BBC half-hour details to follow. Groups will likely change each week. That probably not each week. The groups will remain constant for. I'll mix them up 2 or 3 or 4 times during the semester, so that you all get different perspectives as well. But we'll keep them constant long enough for us to kind of gain a rapport at least. Let's see. Decorum. We won't be in a classroom so much, so interacting is going to be very different. But thou shalt be polite. Thou shalt conduct yourselves as adults. Disagreement is vital for a healthy democracy. We won't all have the same perspectives, and I'll give you a little bit more insight into my own perspective in another video when I talk about who I am in more detail. This class is about thinking. It's called systems thinking. And the tools that we're going to develop are tools to help us think about problems. As a result, we won't always all get the same answer. That is, your systems diagram for how COVID-19 spreads could be different than my systems diagram for how COVID-19 spreads. And you know, there could be things that are stupid about mine. There could be things that are not as well thought through in yours. And the differences in our diagrams might help us identify those places that the diagram might be strengthened. Alternatively, those differences might show us places where we don't understand things and need to learn more. So difference is not is a thing. It helps us clarify how we understand the world. It's certainly possible to be wrong. You know, if you're COVID spread 19 COVID-19 spread diagram includes elements of magic. It's not going to be as helpful as one that includes, say, aerosols in the closed atmosphere or environment atmosphere. All right. Mental health. This is very important. I've struggled with depression my entire adult life, so it's a thing that's out there. The stress levels that most of us are enduring right now are unprecedented. The combination of divisiveness in our political sphere, COVID, global pandemic, without a vaccine, without clear understanding about how things might evolve, with reinfection happening in ways we really don't understand. Well, maybe we do. I don't understand them yet. I mean, you know, your college experience is completely different than you even imagined. I mean, this time last year, you did not imagine that I would be talking to you over what's going to amount to YouTube. So those stresses are real. And we all cope with them in different ways. So it's really important to take care of yourself, and not just I'm talking about mental health here, but physical health is part of it. So there are myriad resources on campus to address what we now call wellness, and it is important that you think about your own wellness. I am more than happy to talk confidentially with you to not to solve your problem, but to help you find places that can help you with any challenges you're having, whether they be emotional, physical, what's the other? Spiritual. Well, spiritual. Yeah, you know, spiritual's a little bit more tricky, and it's important. It's very important. But I might, you know, I'll talk to you about that if you want. What the hell? But yeah, mental health. Oh, that's the end of my notes. So, recapping a bit, this is if you're watching this video, you're probably enrolled in a systems thinking course. You might be one of my very small external fan base that is either, to be honest, linked to me some way through genetics, and sometimes it involves sort of a contract to somebody who's linked to me genetically. A few of my friends might look. Anyway, I probably prattled on too long. I will come back to grading maybe in an early example, particularly the sense that I don't think coercion is the best way to evaluate or motivate you to do well. Anyway, I look forward to the semester. We'll do a lot of interesting thinking and hopefully create some pretty pictures. And I'll talk more about that later on. All right, all for now.